so much for tuning back in. I'm Sherry Storer and I'm here with Gina McCartney, who is the Executive Manager of all events and marketing at residentialrealestate.com. So Gina, thank you so much for joining us
Thank
today.
Thank you for having me.
So listen, why don't you fill us in on a little bit of your journey on how you got to be where you are, because of course your role is a pretty big one at REA.
Yeah, so my past sort of 16 years of my life, I suppose, as a professional, have been filled with developing digital and CRM strategies for local Australian brands and global brands, and that brings me a lot of joy because really it's about helping businesses connect with consumers better and leads me to where I am today, and really passionate about what we do and essentially helping agents and agencies be their best in market to do what they do even better. So we do a number of events throughout the year, communications, and helping educate, inspire, and really help our industry do better together.
Well, of course, that's really important because agents are wanting to get better so that they can be better for, their buyers and sellers. And I think that's why conferences such as IMINA are so incredibly important, because it's about becoming more educated in today's market. So tell me, what have you taken from, the event so far?
Yeah, a lot of takeaways from a very big week all the way over here in New York. I think the first is that despite being so far away, we share a lot of the same challenges. Brad Inman spoke about the supernova and how that's really an opportunity for stars to dwindle or really flourish, and I think Australia's going through its own supernova. So I think that's probably my first piece, and there's some comfort in knowing that we're going through similar challenges, but also what can we learn from each other. The second was about leadership and how leaders really need to step up to lead their teams through change.
Yes.
And if we don't have that resilience and leadership and willingness to lead, really no one's going to get anywhere. And the third was around community, and I think there's some really beautiful messages and stories coming through the week where realtors locally are doing so much in their communities to really embed in local activities, partnerships with schools, clubs, and really how it's helped them flourish through challenging times. So yeah, that would be my top three.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because for a long time the real estate agent has kind of been that money-hungry individual who doesn't really give back to the community, but we are seeing a change, and it has been a gradual change, but now it seems to be like it's really supersonic, and if you're not in your community and giving back to your community, you're kind of getting left right out.
Yeah.
One of the other topics that you mentioned there is change, and I think all of us, we don't like change, but it's happening so quickly and so fast, and it's about embracing that, don't you agree?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And I think a really big theme of change that's also come through the conference is tech, and how AI is really, there's a huge opportunity for technology to support agents, but if agents aren't willing to work with technology, it will take over.
Yeah.
And I think that piece around change and really accepting it for the better, not for the threat.
Yes.
And really, rising above. Yeah.
Well, I think change and technology, and particularly AI, it sort of comes across like it's a little scary. And in this industry, I think for a long time we've sort of been told, okay, just head down, bum up, and you don't really need to pop your head up and see what's going on because it's been the same. Whereas it's no longer that way. And so if you're not popping your head up and seeing what's out there and implementing these new changes, you're just simply going to be left behind. So it's one of the things that we really need to do. So what's REA actually doing to help agents sort of create change in their business and upgrade?
Yeah, it's a really good question. I think one is becoming more familiar with technology. So a lot of the education seminars and conferences and even just day-to-day interactions with our sales team is really about enabling and empowering them to understand what technology looks like, and also not being afraid to work with consumers the way consumers expect. I think a great example is turnaround time and response time to vendors. There used to be a time when responding to someone within 3 days was okay. If you're any longer than 3 minutes now, we know that consumers start to get really peeved off. So helping educate them on what the expectations are and how technology can really support and assist them. And to start, to your point, really leveraging that rather than running afar from it. Yeah.
So what other things are you really doing to help understand consumers more and deliver that message through to real estate agents?
Yeah, look, so we have obviously, the number one volume of consumers and access to consumers in Australia, and I think aside from actual site activity and what we see them doing every day with listings, we do a number of research pieces. So we've just recently run some research in the lounge room research, where we've asked agents and vendors exactly the same questions to understand tension points.
The same questions?
Yeah, the same questions.
What were the answers like?
Yeah. It's safe to say that there was a little bit of disparity between the responses, and I think the really, exciting thing for us is that there's an opportunity to bring the two worlds together. What often drives great fear in an agent and a great fear in a vendor can be solved. It's just about facing into that. So in a few months' time, we'll be releasing more insights to the market about what those, what those key learnings were. But it's really encouraging to see that it's not like it's not unsolvable. It's actually, it's actually about people stepping up and acknowledging each side of the story. And I'm excited what it means for agents, because if they just heard about what vendors are thinking, it's almost like that movie What Women Want, getting inside the mind. It's like what vendors want, getting inside their heads.
I think there's a What Men Want actually coming
out
soon.
It's just been released, I'm excited about that.
We need one for real estate agents.
Exactly.
What sellers want, what buyers want.
Version 3,
I love it. So in terms of this year and new and exciting things that are happening from REA, because I've seen that there has been quite a significant change in mentality over the last few years. What does 2019 bring for REA?
Yeah, I think 2019 is going to be a really interesting year for the industry. We know that there's a lot of change taking place, much like we've heard about the change taking place over here in the States. So we'll be really bedding down and focusing on how can we provide more insights, data and research to agents, helping them feel ready, confident and secure in what they're doing is it's the time to be an agent, and helping them flourish through change. The other piece is really providing them with the tools to help them with their personal branding, helping them get their name out there. An interesting fact that I heard before is about how people switch off personal branding in tough times, whereas that's actually the time to be really ramping up.
That's the time to actually gain market
share.
Yeah,
get your game on. And things like ratings and reviews, which has been, many concerns about us doing that, but that's going to all of a sudden help agents really surface when they're doing awesome work. So the people who are doing really great things out there will really be celebrated in the right way. So usually focusing on, helping agents who are doing the right thing be seen and noticed out in market. So, yeah.
Well, it's an interesting point that you bring there, because we are now in the era of the celebrity agent, and we now see agents that have larger profiles than the brands that they work for. So if you're an agent who wants to get the cut through in this particular way, like what sort of things would you be suggesting that they do in order to get this cut through?
Something that I always talk about with agents having cut through is that be true to who you are and what you represent. Don't try to alienate your audience and be something that isn't relevant. Be really, really clear on who your target audience is. Don't try to fit a square peg in a round hole. It's probably a really obvious and old statement, but be really clear about what your value prop is, and be consistent when you're communicating that.
Yeah, consistency is very much it's key.
Yeah, so key. Yeah.
Look, we're going to quickly run through some rapid fire questions. So, and we are at a tech conference, so get ready. They're tech orientated. But first of all, structure or chaos?
Chaos.
Chaos. Love it. Favorite Instagram filter?
The Venetian?
Love that you know that. No one else really knows.
Oh no!
So I love that. Now, what makes you want to swipe up? So, is there something that engages your interest?
Funnily enough, lead capture forms to find out more.
Oh, cool, perfect, because I run those all the time, and I tell agents you need to have lead capture pages. So awesome. What's your favourite time wasting app?
Oh, Pinterest.
Pinterest? Windows or Apple?
Windows.
Windows. What's the one tech gadget that totally transformed your life?
My watch.
Your watch? Yep. What was the last thing you Googled?
Where to eat dinner tonight.
Favourite emoji?
The crazy laughing one.
And tell me, what is your one guilty follow? Somebody from outside the industry that you love following that you find totally entertaining?
Oh, the fat Jewish.
The fat Jewish?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Gina McCartney, thank you so much for joining us today. It's been absolutely wonderful, and lots and lots of gold in this interview today. Thank you so much.
Great to see you.